Yo, what's going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in round 2 for the week. We've got Swordsoul on the left versus Sky Striker on the right. We got another Buffalo versus Rochester matchup here, similar to what you guys saw in round 1. We got my friend Adam, aka Kaz, on the left versus Para from Rochester. You guys have seen him before, probably on Crush Card's channel. Avid Sky Striker player, been playing the deck for a very long time. My friend Adam's pretty much been on Swordsoul since release, for the most part, right? He was playing it on release, however, and has been getting back into the deck alongside me in the one deck, 1 month journey, which, by the way, check out episode 1. It should be out already. But we will see here anyways in turn 1. Swordsoul win the die roll here, leading with Ecclesia, Incredible Ecclesia. Activating its effect, go ahead and special summon a Swordsoul or Fallen of Albaz from the deck. He's going to go ahead and summon the Swordsoul of Moye. He'll reveal the Ashina, and he's going to go ahead and spec the token, and he's going to activate Ashina in hand to go ahead and summon out Adara, or Adara, and then we're going to see him synchro 8 into Chi-Chao, and he'll go ahead and get to draw and search. Now, I do see an Ash in the hand of our Sky Striker player. Now, Ash is typically a card that's not super fantastic against Swordsoul. Some of the best Ashes are Ecclesia, I would say, and Emergence. Vessel's also up there. Ashina's up there, but I would say besides those 4 cards, there really isn't a better Ash in the deck. I can see why, though, he didn't Ash the Ecclesia, wanting to play around something like Gamma, because that way, you know, if that Ash gets Gamma'd, you're not only dealing with a Chi-Chao here, plus the draw and the search, but you're dealing with a Psyframe Lord Omega, possibly, or, you know, something else on top of the Chi-Chao, right? So, probably not terrible to hold the Ash. We will see him lead with a copy of Terraforming for Area 0. We'll see him activate the Area 0 and set a card in the back line. I did see a copy of Harpy's Feather Duster in the opening hand, and we're going to see him activate that Area 0, targeting the set, and we're going to see him chain his own Ghost Ogre to essentially negate, right? It's not necessarily negating, but kind of is, just through mechanics. And it'll destroy the Area 0, summoning Ray from the deck, and we will see him flip up that Harpy's Feather Duster here. And that's going to go ahead and remove the Blackout as a threat. Battle phase, Ray will swing over the Monk of the Tenyi for 500 damage. Then we'll see him activate Ray's effect in the battle phase here, going for Hayate. Hayate will swing directly for 1500. And looks like he might have something afterwards. I do believe he does end up forgetting the Hayate effect here to send to the graveyard, which is unfortunate, but it does happen to the best of us. Or maybe there's a reason behind not using it. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see him use a Widow Anchor, though, stealing the Chi-Chao to get an extra 2800 damage. Already down to 3200 damage here. We're going to see him go to main phase 2, link off the Hayate into Kagari. And we'll see him add back, I think it was Area 0. And then we're going to see him go for Zeke, just to get the Chi-Chao off the field and be able to get into a copy of Shizuku. Setting 1. And it is going to be Gamma'd. So playing around the Gamma there, definitely working out in his favor, because that would have meant Psyframe Lord Omega as well. We will see the effect of Ray activate here. Or no, I think he added back the Widow Anchor, not the Area 0. So that would explain the set card. But obviously, since you know, Sky Striker Link Monster left the field, he can go ahead and summon Ray back. And we're going to see our Tenyi player lead with Vishuda and activating an emergency teleport and finding the value with the Ash there on the E-Telly, preventing a Ghost Ogre from hitting the field, which will stop a level 10 Synchro play or a Hulk play, which can be very, very devastating at this point in the game, especially with Vishuda in the lineup to clear the known Widow Anchor here. We're going to see Ashina get summoned to the board now. And another Ashina effect activating Engrave to go ahead and summon out Adara. So has access to a level 8 Synchro play here. Could go for Boxia to get that Ray out of the game for the time being and make him have to work for another copy. That's the name of the game against Sky Striker, is just get rid of Ray. But of course, right, if he does go for Boxia, he could just chain the Ray and dodge the Boxia, so that really doesn't necessarily get rid of it here. He will go for Berserker, which can definitely deal with Ray, but perhaps not in the way that he thinks it's going to, because a little interesting scenario does come up here ruling-wise, and we will still see him commit the normal to Taie, banishing Blackout, so we'll get the double tokens here. Always nice to have that. Gives you extra, cards to work with, extra plays to make. And we will see Boxia come out. Chainlink on Boxia, Chainlink to Taie. We're going to see him chain the Ray. And our Sky Striker player is going to attempt to Berserker. But since the monster is not in the same place that it activated Berserker, actually will not be able to banish it here. Or at least that's what ended up playing out. So he will go for Kagari. And Kagari is going to target the Area 0 here, but he also is, of course, going to resolve his cards first. He's got to resolve the Taie. He will dump Longyan. And once all of that resolves, we'll see Kagari activate on a new chain here. He's going to go ahead and attempt to add back the Area 0 as the target. And we'll see if he uses the Berserker here. He will use the Berserker here, getting rid of the Kagari. He'll get the Area 0 back still. He'll get Ray back as well. But the important thing to note here is that Ray has used both of its effects this turn. So there's no more tagging out. And Boxia, as many of you know, and if you don't know, you should know, none of its effects are once per turn. The spin effect, nor is the reborn effect. He does have that level 4 Swordsoul token on field. So he's going to go ahead and use Boxia's second effect here, reviving Moye. Getting the token here. And a bit of a misplay here. He could have just popped the Swordsoul token on field, left the Monk, and just resolved Moye's effect anyways. I'm going to need to have Monk on board right now, which actually would be game. But he's just short of game here. So he's going to have to find a way to go for game. He's going to have to use the second Boxia's effect here to destroy the token and bring out Ecclesia, which I don't think he actually could have done because he was worm locked there. Neither player catching it. Hate to see it, but he could have just revived a Moe from grave anyways, and it would have been all the same, because that's enough damage regardless. I think he was only like 700 or so damage short. But either way, we are into a Game 2 situation. Reminder, guys, check out Imperium Duelist at the link below, and don't forget to use my discount code WinterKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order, and support the channel in the process, and don't forget to check out the affiliate links I have in the description as well. So getting back into it here, we will see Swordsoul made to go first here in Game 2. Not a huge shocker. We do continuously see Sky Striker opting to go second these days, just to be able to have full access to all of its, tools, Hayate mainly. We'll see Vishuddha, E-Telly into Ogre. Very simple combo here, but if it resolves, it's going to bring a lot of value, especially with no normal summon committed. Going for the Halka Fibrax play. Basically all of this just to go ahead and get to a Taia. It might look like a lot, but it's just Taia access at the end of the day. Just a very long-winded way to get to Taia. Yes, if you do have Ashina in the mix, you can get to a Herald of the Arclight before you go into your Taia play. For a little bit of added protection, we'll see the Auroradon activate, tributing itself, and going for the Yazi. Yazi effect will activate, summoning out Moye. He'll reveal Longyan, getting another token here. Putting a dice on that other token just to make sure it is known that it is a Mecha Phantom Beast token. We'll see him go for Chi-Chao here. I guess it doesn't have to be Taia, but it could also be Moye. But Swordsoul combos without the normal summon. Just getting access to, a Swordsoul monster without the normal. Same thing can be done with the Tenyi plays as well. So not necessarily needed, but it does give the deck a little bit of extra push sometimes, especially with the help of cards like E-Telly, as we're seeing here. So he'll get the draw, he'll get the search, and we're going to go ahead and see him activate Asha now. That's going to go ahead and bring out a Vishuddha. Still has this Mecha Phantom Beast token on field. Not sure what he can do with it at this point. He is worm locked. If it was a Swordsoul token, well, I was going to say if it's a Swordsoul token, he could go into, what's it called, but he can't. He's still Synchro Locked and Worm Locked, so we will see him bring out Adara for the normal summon. If I'm seeing that correctly. The Mecha Phantom Beast token here does serve a purpose, though. It allows him to be able to continuously use 10E effects in hand or grave, because he does control a non-effect monster. Looks like he is looking at Boxia as a potential play. And it looks like he will target the token and Ogre. Reviving Ghost Ogre from the grave as added interruption here. So you will have just the Ogre. I was going to say, he could have just synchroed for a Berserker. But Berserker not super stellar in this matchup, as we saw. There are ways to kind of dodge it very easily. You know, just doing Ray things. We'll see our striker player lead with a Upstart Goblin. The Upstart Hoban. And then he'll go ahead and draw. His opponent will gain 1,000. Activating reinforcement of the army. We'll go ahead and grab a copy of Ray. And he also has 2 copies of Gadarla in hand. So not only will that act as a bit of removal here, but it'll also give him the opportunity to put an extra body on field to be able to extend with. So you will see him activate Area 0, Normal Summon Ray, Area 0 effect, Chain Ray, Link for Hayate, and reveal double Widow Anchor and Ash. And I think one thing you guys are going to notice about this specific build is that I believe there is no DPE in this Sky Striker build. Whether or not that's a good thing, I don't know. I don't play the deck. I couldn't offer any valuable input. But it is refreshing to see. We will see him drop one of the Gadarlas over the Chichao. He can have the opportunity to special summon the other one from hand since there is another Kaiju on field. So he will go ahead and do that. Free 2,700 beater. Might as well take it. And he will go battle phase to attempt to attack over the Boxia. And now we're going to see a Swordsoul Blackout targeting the Boxia. And this obviously is going to force out the Blackout anyways. We will see a Macrocosmos get activated here, though, in response to the Blackout. Yeah, obviously that early battle phase there, forcing the Blackout because he's trying to run over the only worm monster he had left on field, which was the Boxia. And Macrocosmos, a very, very clutch card in the Swordsoul deck. Since the Blackout was banished here, he will get to summon a token. Ray will come out, though. Obviously, Blackout still resolving. Ray will come out after the Hayate is banished. Swordsoul token getting summoned still. And he'll be able to run over the Ghost Ogre. So, essentially clearing both threats on the field with just a simple battle phase. And then Ray attacking over the Swordsoul token. I do see a copy of Mystic Mine, Multi-Roll, and Widow Anchor in the hand for our Sky Striker player currently. So, keeping mine in the back pocket. Definitely proved to be very good against a deck like this. No Striker play Mystic Mine a lot in the past. Definitely can help the deck. Try to keep up with other decks. And we will see him multi-roll away the Gadarla, setting one. And then end phase, we're going to go ahead and see Shizuku activate here. And I imagine he'll probably go for engage since he has not had access to it yet. I want to say this entire match. And then we're just going to see our striker player pass turn. We'll see what the plan is for our Swordsoul player. Looks like it's just going to be battle phase here over the Shizuku for 1,000. The Shizuku, of course, will get banished because the macro. And it does not look like our Swordsoul player has any follow-up plays here right now. And if he does, it looks like he's opting not to use them. He'll pass turn. We're going to see that Mystic Mine get slapped down. And we're going to see pass turn, pass turn, pass turn, pass turn. Drawing to a Pot of Avarice there. Passing turn again. I think I saw a Lightning Storm in the hand for our Swordsoul player as well. It's just going to be a lot of back and forth here. But this is going to lead up to something I do want to point out. There was a bit of a, I want to say a mistake made. A soft cheat, I guess. I don't really like to use the word cheat. Even though, I mean, I guess technically that's kind of what it is, but ultimately doesn't make too big of a difference. So it is coming up here momentarily. And we're just going to see turn after turn, both players just drawing, setting or drawing and discarding. Another droplet here for our striker player. And passing again. And getting rid of another Ghost Bell. Setting one immediately here for turn. Swordsoul drawing, setting another one, and drawing here again for our striker player. Now here we are. This is where, you know, the issue is. We're going to see multi-roll activate, target the set. It's an imperm. We'll see him chain imperm. So now imperm is going to turn off the macro and the Godarla is negated. But we're going to see our striker player still activate cards in the same column that imperm was set in, which both players did not catch. So it is what it is. Both players are definitely very experienced players. They've been playing for a long time. Both with their respective decks, and it just happens. Sometimes you just don't catch it. But the set on the right side of the multi-roll is a Shark Cannon, which could have been legally activated, giving him a legal zone to activate and resolve all the cards that he's been playing. So there was a way to go around it here. And yes, you can still droplet a monster that already has its effects negated because you still change the attack value. That is still legal. Obviously, it should have been negated. But still getting mine off the field regardless, even if droplet is negated, because it's, you still have to pay the cost. Ray's going to get brought out onto the field. Activate effect for Kagari. Chain droplet, sending off the Godarla. And, you know, speaking of droplet, Macrocosmos does a really good job at shutting it off. We will see him now activate the Metalfoes Fusion, but I wanted to bring that up because I know a lot of people are going to be like, you know, Imperm column, oh my god, players can't read so bad, lol. Like, it happens, okay? It happens to the best of us. And there it is. The set is the Shark Cannon, which he could have used to go ahead and banish, you know, something like the Vishuda Engrave. But we will see him actually take now the Auroradon, and he had another copy of Shark Cannon in hand, so he could just burn it, banish it, and then activate another one to take the Auroradon later to do the same exact play we're seeing now for the access code. And we'll see how many people are not listening to the audio by people that still type imperm column lol. But he will go into the access code. He'll banish Kagari, get rid of the Macrocosmos that's been kind of being a thorn in the side the past couple turns. And he'll swing in for 5,300 damage because he was still able to target the Auroradon, still a legal target, even though it's not in his grave. And we're going to see multi-roll reset one, and we're going to see pass turn there. And we're going to see the great equalizer here to show why it doesn't matter at all to begin with. Lightning Storm for a full back row of 5. And we'll see if our Swordsoul player, or our Sky Striker player here rather, has a response. He will chain the Widow Anchor here, not Widow Anchor rather, the Shark Cannon. Use it or lose it situation here. He will go ahead and take the Yazi. Cannot be targeted, so we might as well take it. And all the other back are going to the grave. Another Anchor, another Droplet, multi-roll. Very important piece for Sky Striker getting cleared off the board. And we'll see if our Swordsoul player can end up making it game here. Ash on Emergence. And there's Ecclesia to come in clutch. Specking itself to the field, of course, while his opponent controls more monsters than him. Activate Ecclesia. That will resolve here since Ash is pretty much out of the equation for this turn. I do see a Pot of Avarice here for our Striker player. So if this isn't game here this turn, if our Swordsoul player is not able to make a game, that could be a very, very clutch recovery card at this stage in the game. Although I'm not too sure how many monsters are currently in the grave. Macrocosmos kind of doing a good job at hard countering a card like that. We'll see Taya come down, banishing, getting a token. And we're going to see Adara activate, add back a banished Moye. And Yazi going to be a little difficult to get around here since it can't be targeted. You can't Boxy it, or yeah, you cannot Boxy it because it can't, because Boxy it targets. We'll see him go for Draco Berserker though, and we'll see him activate The Tae, that is going to go ahead and send a worm from the deck to the grave. We'll see him dump the Tenyi Spirit Shathana. And still has yet to normal summon. We're going to see him activate Long Yun, discarding Moye, getting a token. Synchro 10 here. Probably for Baron de Fleur at this stage in the game. Really good powerhouse card to be able to bring out when you are trying to close out the game. Not a card I typically like summoning going first. I don't think it's very good to summon Baron going first. I think it's much better as a follow-up card to be able to bring out. Since Baron is so easily dealt with at the start of the game, your opponent has so many cards. One negate's probably not going to be worth it when you could go for something like Chi-Ching, which is 2 interruptions and sometimes very impactful on its own. And just save Baron in your back pocket for when you're trying to close the game out. So, I still don't believe our Swordsoul player has normal summon yet. We know... Well, actually, I don't even think it matters here. He does have Swordsoul Sacred Summit, which is going to bring back Chi-Chao. And I think this is going to be game here regardless. Not using the Baron effect here to pop it. Because, I mean, well, Baron does target, I believe. So he can't even clear it with Baron's effect. So he has to run over for 400 and swing in for 58, which will be game. And that's going to do it. If you guys want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine level channel members who are Tweeter0226, Pony Stark, Cadillacs84, Keith Sidgers, Dustin Lamb, and Master of Isa. Thank you guys so much for your extremely kind and generous support of the channel.